Hi everybody, this is Sherilyn Flower from the Flower team at Remax, and in this episode I'm going to talk a little bit about what's going on in the market for 2019 and do a little recap of what has happened over the last few years. I'm going to try and make it short and sweet because we know we don't have that much time. We're all very busy, but I know I've had a lot of clients and a lot of people stopping me and saying, hey Sherilyn, what's going on? What has been happening in the new year, and what are your predictions? So, okay, I'm going to go over a couple of things. So, first of all, I had a really great meeting with the people of CIBC, and they did give us their projections and market updates and where they see things are going in terms of the banking side. And then I'm also going to give you a little bit of what I feel and being in the business for over 15 years and the trends and that kind of thing. So, let's recap what happened over the last few years, and we kind of have to go back to see where we are now. So first of all, let's start with 2016. Wow, what a year. 2016 was amazing. It was the best year. Business was booming. Sales were going through the roof. We're having multiple offers. It was our best year ever, really. It was great if you basically were a seller, but if you were a buyer, it was very difficult, and it's been difficult, right? So what happened in 2017? Well, the first quarter of 2017 was just crazy. The market went up 30%. Houses were going for 200, 300, even 500,000 over asking. I mean, really, how is this gonna end? Was it going to burst? What was going to happen? Okay, so in 2017, the Ontario Fair Housing Plan was initiated by the Wynne government, and I guess what it was to do was to curb the buying and all the craziness. Sorry, I'm going to be looking at my notes here and there. It was basically a strategy that they wanted to come up with to help buyers, right? So they initiated all these things. They put taxes on the foreign investors. They ended up, doing large, just basically changing policies. But what happened was it really halted the market, and it didn't address the problem of inventory. We still have a big inventory problem. So in the beginning of 2017, things were booming. Houses were just being flipped and sold for 50,000 more a month later. It was insane. Even us agents couldn't predict what was going on. But April, Wynne came out with this new policy, and by beginning and second week of May, we really felt the brunt of those policies, and the market just went down. And it dropped. It dropped like about 20%. So where it was up 30, it went down 20, and it was just like, whoa, everybody was just, buyer confidence went down as well. So we had a slow year the rest of 2017. Now, 2018, what happened last year? So 2018 rolls around. We're still feeling the brunt of 2017 and the crash and all that stuff. And I wouldn't even call it a crash. It was just a correction, right? So 2018 rolls around. The beginning of 2018 was still up in the air. I noticed that we had, with our listing side, houses were being sold, but they were taking longer to sell. And they were also we were selling them, deals were falling through because once again, the government put another stress test on the buyers. And who did it really help? I'm not really sure on that, but it did make it much more difficult for buyers to buy again. So deals were going in, but they were coming back, and houses were coming back on the market. So I saw a lot of, houses being sold, but then they were not sold, and then it was very difficult. So what happened was, again, that put a strain on buyers. But what did we see? We saw a decline in the detached homes, the houses, the decline in pricing. So, but condos went up. Condos just boomed, and we were having a really good condo market. We still are having a really great condo market. So right now, it seems that condos is where it's at. But there are some, interesting things. We still had a lot of immigration coming in. We had over 100,000 immigrants come into, the GTA in 2018. They all require, a lot of them require housing, and now the new immigrant is different than what the old immigrant was. These immigrants have really good jobs, they're really well qualified, so I feel like they're kind of, still boosting the market a little bit, and they are adding to that. So 2018, we had a slow start. It really started picking up towards, I would say, summer. Then it started to warm up, and people kind of, well, now the stress test is out, and people are now getting more qualified, and buyers were getting more qualified, and the stress test now is just like, it's there, right? It's there. So we don't know what's going to happen with that, if they're going to continue. So we just have to monitor and see how things go. So fast forward to 2019. Okay, guys, so where do we see 2019? Well, okay, let's put it this way. What drives housing, right? We've got the unemployment rate. Okay, this all affects housing, the unemployment rate, which is actually shy of about 6%. It's not bad. Income growth, we saw income growth at around 2%, and population growth. And so we do have a lot of population. As I said, with the immigrants coming in, it's no different than last year. I'm sure we're going to see similar numbers. So this all drives the demand of housing. Okay, so where do I see 2019 heading? Based on off all the data and just being out in the field and seeing what's going on, I truly feel that 2019 is a great year because it's going to be a balanced market. Guys, 15 years ago, this is how it was. Homes took an average of 30 to 90 days to sell. That was normal, okay? Inflation, or the way houses went up, was about 5 or 6% a year, and that was normal. This whole 30, 20% craziness is behind us. I think we're going to have a moderate growth every year, which is great. It's still great for the investment side, and it's moderate. This is how it is. Because it's too volatile when it's the other way around. So we're going to see slight growths. Also, according to the CIBC update that I went to, they don't see huge interest rate hikes, and they may see if there's any, maybe 1 or 2 throughout the year. But we're going to monitor that. Again, it's a year of monitoring and seeing what's going on, right? Also, the list to sale prices, we're going to see that around the 96%, 96 to 98% of a list to sale, and that's normal. That's great. It's actually, it's so the whole. But let me put a disclaimer, okay? If you live in a really hot location, the property is really updated, and you're in a demand area, you're still going to see multiple offers. It's still happening, okay? And it's still a supply and demand issue. So again, we're going to monitor. However, if you are upselling and or upsizing, and you want to go into that detached home, now is the time to take advantage of that, because the pricing on detached homes have come down. So if you are upselling, it's great, okay? Even if you are downsizing, you still have enough equity that you're still doing really well if you do sell, right? So I still think it's a great year nonetheless. And so going forward, I think that we're going to have a pretty good year. And if anybody wants to know anything more about what's happening, stay tuned. I'm going to be doing more of these market updates because I really feel we don't know what's going on with the government and policy. So every time we have a change, I'm going to inform you guys. I'm going to be a little bit more hands-on and tell you what's going on, okay? And we're going to monitor. So but right now, guys, as being in the business for the last 15 years, I know that normally spring market is the highest market. So anybody who wants to get in before all that craziness, let me know. And there's a lot of great deals to be had. And anybody who wants to take advantage of spring market, we have a plan for you guys. Basically, talk to me, because this spring, I feel, is still going to be a lucrative market for those sellers, okay? So anyway, those are my thoughts, and I will stay tuned, please, for more market updates in the future.